Great insight, great comments. Talk about the economic runoff from these companies, the local community. We're going to open up for some questions. Our format will be Nancy will have a mic. She will get out to the folks. If you raise your hand if you have questions. One that I want to start with, we'll segue right off of what you brought up, Quincy. And I asked this of all three gentlemen. What is the impact of decisions made by the local governing bodies, or what kind of support and help you need as you partner with the city of Mesquite trying to move things forward for your respective companies and industries?
I'll go first. I spoke about this a minute ago, but a single decision a few years ago as it relates to impact fees resulted in a $24 million swing, or a $30 million swing in our profit. You know, at the time that happened, we were maybe, in many cases, only making about $5,000 a house. So a $5,000 hit to our per home budget, a $30 million swing, was not going to be a good day for Pulte and Mesquite. Luckily, we were able to rally some of the businesses and the other developers and go back to the water district, and we got that decision overturned. But it was I feel a decision made by board members who didn't fully understand the impact of the decisions they're making. And so it's very important that this group here, the constituents and the consumers in this group understand and are involved in those decision-making processes. And that's just one of many. You know, I talked about impact fees. When we came to town, there's been many increases in sewer. And there was a habitat conservation plan that resulted in a couple $300 a lot, and there's many of those, and it may seem insignificant on a single lot, but as they pile up and you multiply it by 6,000, it's an astronomical number, and we as citizens need to be engaged and aware of the decisions that are being made, because it will affect all of us in the long run.
You know, I'd like to maybe just take Quincy's point about water, and I don't know the specifics here in Mesquite as well as I do at times in Las Vegas, where people I've known who've been involved with golf courses out at Lake Las Vegas and others, where all of a sudden you'll be driving, you'll hear about this great golf course that was designed by Jack Nicklaus, and then when you drive by, it's all brown. And you look at it and you say, like, how is that possible? What happened? Especially because, where I'm a member in Las Vegas Country Club, I see them, watering the heck out of the place all the time. And you go like, how come you can see such disparity? And then I'll talk to some old timers and say, oh, it's because of the Las Vegas Country Club. It's been around so long, they own their own water. So they can irrigate, they can make the fairways, just go all the way to the next hole. And it doesn't really have any consequence because they own it. And in the last couple of years, when they ran into some financial trouble, they've been selling off their water rights, and then raising a lot of money. And then I'll say, okay, then what happened to the guys out at Lake Las Vegas? And let's say, well, they didn't own their own water. Okay, so the price that the Southern Nevada Water District was charging them, per acre foot or whatever, was just too high, and they weren't getting the business, so they just closed. And so, that's two extremes that you see just 88 miles down the road. And so when we think about Mesquite, I said that Mesquite, from a gaming and hospitality standpoint, has tended to compete on price. Now we, as an individual property, have tried to invest in it and kind of trick it out a little bit to make it fun and memorable, to try to break away from that, that competition just on price. But I can be honest that the vast majority of our hotel guests who are paying full freight are actually not coming just to gamble. They're coming as part of, you know, golf trips. And so without a healthy Wolf Creek, without a healthy Oasis canyons, without you know, Conestoga, without these golf courses being able to be you know, looking good and healthy and, you know, making money, then as an asset, you know, to the community, you know, they can't work together with us to really be competitive. So I only mention that because, you know, as I've learned, you know, city government also includes water management. You know, the water district, water board. It also includes, you know, electric. At different times, we've looked at, you know, could we afford to expand the hotel? And at times, some of the biggest investments are not only the impact fees, but if you bring on a project that's large enough that now it taxes the, you know, the grid, that, you know, we have to pay for, you know, a bigger transformer or something so that it's doable. And these are all things that kind of go together. We are partners with the cities, the city and the municipalities in trying to, again, get back to growth, which I've talked about. But maybe if there's one thing that I'd just like to share with you, and it's really only a thought process rather than a single point. And that is, you know, about a month ago, I was reading the Citizen Journal, and there was, plug only one, but I read it in all the beer articles.
That's okay, go ahead.
But the point was, it was a discussion about a splash pad. And it was talking really about making Mesquite better for kids in the summer. And there were a lot of issues about construction costs, issues about safety, issues about maybe traffic patterns. And really, when I thought about it, the one additional criteria that I found that wasn't mentioned at all, but I think is important, and I think we should all think about, was how it might be a benefit, possibly, to hospitality. You know, something like that, if we located it in a location where you could see it from the freeway. If we located it where there are people already employed at the rec center, you know, what might happen if it was close to Best Western Hotel? Just different things that we might say, hey, I know it's only a small, you know, splash pad, but to some hotel guests, it could really make a difference. It could make a difference if you're driving on the freeway and it's 115 degrees, and the kids are just ready to drive you crazy. I don't know if it's only mine or if you know any like that. And you think of stopping at the McDonald's or the Jack in the Box, and all of a sudden you could say to yourself, hey, you know, maybe we could stop at some place and let the kids run around and splash. And now they have a great association with Mesquite. So really the one thing that I would encourage city government, business, the community, is to think about all the things that we're doing, and is there a way that we can do to create more synergy, to help us all in a different way? Because kind of once dollars are spent, it's really hard to move them. Versus if we put them in the right place, you know, there's no telling what benefit it could have. Someone having a great experience playing golf, being on the side of a road, their kids enjoying themselves. You know, sometimes those people turn into new residents in a place like Sun City.